Consistency is key. It's always the case. We don't know before the scenario, but if we keep our standards, I think they are getting better with more experience. We are a bit more fresh as well because this festival was tough for us with a small squad. So consistency, adaptability, creativity, taking risks mindset as well. I think it's important. And with a young squad, we have now a good level of confidence. So
of the Hammers home fans, and Karen, there's a particular pattern of play that you've been looking at that we could see today for Sunderland, where they really utilise those wide areas.
Yeah, they really do. They're patient in the wide areas, and of course Xhaka we highlighted, he's instrumental in everything they do in attack and not there today, so it's how do they problem solve that. But here, patient, working it as a give and goes there, that's a big theme. Give and go, 1-2s around the 18-yard box and up, back and throughs. But again, Xhaka highlighted who's going to be that player today. Is it Hume? Is it Lefay? But their wide areas, again, they try and work that area really, really well. You know, they will put crosses into the box, but they're patient with it. This one I really, really like, particularly in the centre mid. It's simple, old school, up, back and through. Don't overcomplicate it, but there's cues to it. As soon as it's set back, full-backs, wide players on the bike, ready to go, ready to get in there. And then again, these are the tight combinations I mentioned. But don't overcomplicate it. Keep it really simple, but it is very effective. Granted, they don't create a lot of chances, but they're very clinical. This one was the other day again, up, back and through. As soon as it goes to Xhaka, full-back, Mukiele, on your bike, get forward, and it leads to the next goal. But very clear.
Lot of key factors have to happen in these goals. Really, really well-worked goals. Obviously, the pass has to be nice and crisp and incisive. The setback has to be good. The weight of pass, and of course, you need a runner as well. They're the things you work on in the training ground day in, day out. So you can't, you know, it just becomes second nature.
When you're watching them, you're seeing just how well drilled they are, and everyone just doing their jobs really well.
Yeah, it's simple. It's simple but effective. And I think sometimes we overcomplicate things, get players in positions that they don't want to be in. When if you simplify things and keep working on it day in, day out, then inevitably they come through on a Saturday, and that's what's happening with Sunderland.
And we say it all the time when we watch Sunderland, but set pieces could be even more key for them today. They're really good at them at both ends of the pitch, actually, but West Ham, Peter, are not very good at defending them.
Yeah, well, obviously defensively, West Ham have really struggled this season, and set pieces is certainly something that they need to work on as well. And Sunderland, of course, are good at them. They've got big players that want to attack the ball, and they've got good delivery. So that's going to be an area that West Ham may struggle in today.
Why do you think Nuno Kaz hasn't been able to sort that back line out and stop them being so leaky? Because it's usually one thing he's very, very good at.
Yeah, again, maybe consistency and finding that partnership and the connections with the back four.
They've had 70%
yeah, exactly.
partnerships.
Yeah, that's the tricky one for him. But I also said, you know, they're 17th, I think, in the Premier League for possession. I think he's realised, let's just put it in the other half. Let's protect our back line. If it's in the other half, it's further away from our back line and also from conceding more. So I think he is trying, and he's just got to build that confidence within the group. Confidence is huge in football, and particularly for a back line, and they've just got to keep going with it, West Ham.
And this crowd is going to be huge today as well, because it's been a long time since they've had a home win in the league, November the 8th, Peter. So the start has to be good, or how quickly do you think it could turn in here?
You can understand the animosity. Like the fans here have seen. They haven't seen. It's not been good enough, right? And West Ham is a club that is a comfortable Premier League club. They've spent money, and they've not had the entertainment. What have they won? A couple of games, I think, certainly at home this season. They've lost 8 at home, and I think that's where it comes in. It doesn't just come from nowhere, you know, the animosity. And I think the players have to give them something. I think the start is so key in a game like this. And West Ham are expected to beat Sunderland. I know Sunderland are having a good time at the moment, probably favourites at the moment, but they are expected as a club to beat Sunderland, I think, at home, and they need to come out and give the fans something to cheer.
Yeah, they really do. They had a lift last weekend. Can they follow it up today with Sunderland, the visitors, in this lunchtime kickoff as we get your Premier League weekend underway here on TNT Sports? The Irons hoping to build on that dramatic late winner against Tottenham Hotspur last weekend, but Sunderland are here starting to dream of European football. We'll have kickoff next.
Sunderland, we know, have been a bit of a surprise this season in terms of moving their way up the table where nobody really expected. West Ham are in a very tricky spot, stuck down in that relegation zone. So, big game for Sunderland just to try and keep in that top 10, and then, of course, an even bigger game for West Ham to try and move their way out and up into the top 17. So, for West Ham, it's an unchanged side. So we have Areola in goal, then we have our back four of Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos and Taribo and Skal. Centre midfield, we've got Souček and Fernandez as always, and then our front four being Darren Bowen, then we have Pablo, Somerville and then Castellanos, of course. Pablo and Castellanos, new signings for West Ham, one of them to score a goal. And then for Sunderland, there's one big change, and that is Granit Xhaka being out due to an injury. I believe it's an ankle injury, which means they've had to change their side. They're playing what it seems like to be a bit of a 4-4-2. Their back four, they've got the exact same as before. Mandrava, Alvarate, Ballard, and Michele. Mid four, it's Mundle, LaFace, and Eby and Hume. And front two, we're looking at Brian Robbie. So very interesting game for us here in the Premier League. We are about just to kick off here. Everybody's playing it up. Centre of the field. In the last 5 games. Oh, there we go. The music was on. In the past 5 games, it's been better for West Ham, of course. That away win against Tottenham with Callum Wilson, 92nd minute goal. That really has put them into a bit of confidence, I think, heading into this one back at the London Stadium. And they've been away there for the past 3 Premier League games. So we'll see if they can try and do something at home. And then Sunderland, they've also been in a bit of a dodgy patch. Of course, they took the win against Palace last time out. But then before that, it was a loss and then 2 draws followed. So, yeah, Sunderland got to try and pick things back up here and look to score the big points that we saw them doing earlier on in the season. And we are now just about to hit kick-off here at the London Stadium. And it will be Sunderland kicking us off. As we can see, West Ham with their classic, what colour is it? Is it burgundy, purple, villa colour? And their white shorts. And then we can see with Sunderland in their away kits, the black and then the yellow numbers and letters. So it's straight back to Woods Roofs, who sends it forward immediately here for Sunderland. And Mundle here looking to get onto the end of this one, but Wan-Bissaka gets there first on this near side. And a big chance here for West Ham to go forward, but it's collected here by Trey Hume. And the ball goes all the way back to the Sunderland defence. A very quick start there by them as we look to make our way forward here. Back to Roofs, however. And we've seen Sunderland a lot this season. They're not too big when it comes to goals scored. They're just very good defensively. I think they've conceded the 3 least amount of goals this season. And that being, I think, Arsenal and Man City, the only ones ahead of them. So, Sunderland, very tidy when it comes to playing defensive, as I believe that's a corner 1 for Sunderland already. And, of course, that's the type of start that Reggie Lebree would have wanted. Of course, has settled in quite well into the Premier League. And the team themselves are probably going to solidify themselves, I'd imagine, for the future now, if they can survive the drop this season. But it's not going to be a corner. It will be a very long throw-in right on the edge of the penalty area. So close to the touchline. Ball into the area, headed away. And shots on goal by Brobby. And it's deflected behind by Areola. A great save. And that could have been a really big chance there for Sunderland to take the lead early on. It was a great shot on goal. And Areola managed to kick that one behind. And it wasn't Brobby, sorry, it was Siddiqui who sent that one just outside of the box, pinged it forward. Big chance for Sunderland. As Another corner here as we make our way into the box, right to the far side of the penalty area. Headed in by Ballard. Wan-Bissaka heads it away. Ballard again, still flirting in the penalty area. And now West Ham had a slight opportunity to move forward. They lose the ball. Back here with Sunderland. Tri-Hume sends it high into the air. Meets with Mundell. And West Ham recoup it with Wan-Bissaka now on the near side. Sends it forward towards Castellanos, but gets taken there by Enzo Lefebvre, who of course has also transitioned well to the Premier League, has had a couple of goals and assists over the course of the season. 3 goals and 4 assists, so we'll be keen to see what he can do in this one. As Sunderland recoup and send it back to Robin Roofs, who's been, I think it's been decent, but considering the sort of expectations people had on him and the work he's done, I think he's been amazing this season. So clinical, doesn't seem to suffer much from pressure. He's very happy to also, just play it out from the back and trade a lot with his defenders. So 3 minutes gone here, and it is still West Ham 0, Sunderland 0. Sunderland, though, have had the better of things at the start of this one. And it's now with Sadiq in the centre circle. Over towards Alderete, who looks to try and go forward and find Mundell potentially, but he flicks it over the top in towards Mayenda, into the area. Scholes gets there first. Ball rolls out of play. It's a goal kick to West Ham, and that was another great chance there for Sunderland. It was a ball pinged over the top of the defence. Scholes got ahead of Mayenda, and then it rolled out of play. And of course, can see on my screens, Granit Xhaka, of course, injury bound, heading into this one. And that is not the way he would have hoped. Well, I think it's more the fact on Reggie Lebray. He doesn't want his star man out, of course. Granit Xhaka has been, yet again, one of the best midfielders this season in the Premier League. Never mind one of the best players of Sunderland. And him being gone, you kind of have to change your system around a little bit, because he's such a clinical loss. So we'll be keen to see what Sunderland can do without Granit Xhaka here. But then again, they lost about, I think it was 7 players with AFCON, and they've done perfectly fine there. So it seems whatever happens to Sunderland, they somehow have a way to work through it. As it's a free kick here for Sunderland, as it was Enzo Lefebvre who was pushed over. Robin Roos will take this one just outside the centre circle now. Fires it forward onto the far side to try and find a head of a Sunderland player. Ball goes off one of the top of, I think it was Ballard, and goes out of play, so it'll be another free kick here to West Ham. Goal kick. So I'll be keen to see what West Ham can do here, because we know that the London Stadium isn't the best for the fans of how far they are away from the pitch. But of course they can certainly make a lot of noise here in the heart of London. Of course, Sunderland fans will have travelled a long way down here. I think it's probably around a 4-hour drive, so you don't want to be leaving here with a loss. And they've only had 5 losses this season. They've been so good at going for the draw or getting the win. So with West Ham now, just with their defensive line, Souček dropping back a little bit. That allows Mateus Fernandes just to push forward a little bit more and give a chance here to West Ham as it's forward here towards Caston. Gets it, but it goes back inside the area now. Bit of contact. Ballard goes down. Continues play. And Castellanos there with another chance to do something for West Ham. Somerville with a ball now on the far side towards Souček. He goes back. And now West Ham looking to try and launch an attack. Wan-Bissaka goes back to Alderete. Just inside the Sunderland half now. And Jared Bowen looking to get the ball forward, but gets into a bit of contact there. And that will be a free kick given the way of West Ham as well, heading into the 7th minute. See what West Ham can do here with a big chance to go forward. They haven't had much of the ball in the Sunderland penalty area yet, so this would be a great chance just to try and get something off here. And they have got quite a few tall players up front here waiting to receive this one. Ball goes into the centre of the penalty area, headed away by Sunderland. Collected though on the halfway line by Wan-Bissaka. Press now here by Sunderland. So West Ham have got to get moving quickly here. As the ball's still on the far side with Skulls. He looks to go forward here with Fernandez. Still on the far side. Mayenda there trying to block. With Souček now. Finds Alderete on the near side here. Just halfway into the Sunderland half now with West Ham. Souček looks to fire it long to the near side. Finds Jared Bowen. He goes into the middle to find Souček again, but has to get that one away to safety. So West Ham here looking to apply some pressure now on Sunderland and yet to find an opening through. But, you know, the more you fire that ball forward, the more there's going to be a chance for you to get something of it. As here's Scars now on the far side. Looked a bit annoyed there, was waiting for someone to receive it, but there was nobody there. It goes forward onto the near side here with Wan-Bissaka on the edge of the area. Finds Souček, who looks for the crossing into the centre of the box, going for the head off of Castellanos and goes out of play. That will be a Sunderland throw in here. Let's see the replay again. It was a great ball by Souček. It was a couple of yards out the penalty area. It lifted it high and in. And actually, it went off one of the heads of the Sunderland player. So this will be a throw-in for West Ham. As we look to get going again. And of course, Callum Wilson, who was rumoured to be leaving the club, came on in the 92nd minute in against Tottenham and got the win with a great finish. So maybe Callum Wilson's time at West Ham isn't over just yet. As now forward here in the centre of the pitch, looking to go forward. I don't know what that was there from Fernandez. I think it was looking to ping it on towards the far post, but there was nobody there at all, and it fell straight into the hands of Robin Roofs. And here go Sunderland there, looking for an early counter-attack. Ball into the air. Somerville collects. Just on the halfway line here. Somerville still moving over towards the centre of the pitch. Souček to going back towards Mavropanos. Forward now towards Skulls, who's been just looking to edge forward here, but he's never sort of got the space to do so. Using his other defenders just to go back, as Jared Bowen now with the ball on the near side. Finds Souček, a great run here by Pablo. Can't get to it though, Alderete gets it back to safety. He finds Mundle on the near side. Referee allowing play on. Mundle with the ball. As West Ham managed to scrape that one away back towards Areola. And West Ham can have a moment of a breather just to recoup and go forward again. Very lively start here between these two sides. Still West Ham 0, Sunderland 0 in the 11th minute of play. Mavropanos and Debo at the back. Trajan over. Now finds Somerville on the far side. He with Castellanos, but goes back towards Sunderland. And now there's a big chance here for Brian Brobby to look to opening it up here. It's 1v1. He looks to try and farm Mayenda. Can't do so. Passes it out wide towards Mundle, who's entered the penalty area. He gets displaced there by Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka goes down, and that's a foul given to West Ham. And that was a great chance there for Brian Brobby. It was him versus, I think it was just Mavropanos. Then other players got back, and he had to go out wide to Mundle. And that was a big chance for Sunderland to take the lead here. As it was Brian Brobby there. He was looking to go forward. Here now with Somerville on the far side. Closed down by Mukiele. Souček recovers. Onto the near side here with Wan-Bissaka. In the centre of the pitch now with Fernandez. Just goes back towards Areola now, to West Ham. Short towards Todibo. But West Ham here are suffering a lot from this Sunderland press. So they can't seem to get out of their own defensive line here. As it finds Bowen. Falls towards one of the West Ham players, but headed away by Alderete, who's been brilliant so far in this one. Has really sponged the chances from West Ham. There's Wan-Bissaka trading with Souček there, just on the halfway line. Going back towards Mavropanos. Finds Fernandez. And now he with Scars on the far side. He looks to send a long ball through towards Somerville. A great chance here for West Ham. Crossing by Somerville. Headed away by Alderate and goes out of play. Just adjacent to the penalty area. And that was a big chance there for West Ham to get a goal. Back in play with Souček now. Halfway inside the Sunderland half now with West Ham. Bowen now on the right wing looking to try and send a cross in. It's a high cross. Away by Mundell. But dropped in towards Wan-Bissaka. Bowen again. Looking to cut inside now. Across the touch, looking for a head, and it's in! It's a goal for West Ham. Somerville with the header. A superb finish. And it was a great cross initially by Jarrod Bowen. And of course, they took a win last time out against Tottenham. And they lead here against Sunderland. The crowd going absolutely berserk here at the London Stadium. What a goal it was by Somerville. He got there at the right time. There was heads all over. And just looking at it again, it was a ball from Wan-Bissaka to Bowen, who cut inside. It was a low cross. It went off the head of Somerville, who was caught out off guard by Mukiele. Did not see Somerville coming. And that's his second goal in 2 games. So it's 13 minutes in. West Ham 1, Sunderland 0. So we'll look to get back underway with play shortly. And Sunderland will be looking to get something done early here. It's a throw-in. Just adjacent to the entry of the penalty area here for Sunderland. And what they would love now is some sort of quick reaction. So I'm just trying to get the statistics to come up on our screen. Oh dear me, they don't want to load. Oh no. But it goes out of play once again here. And I'm just trying to get the statistics to come up because they don't want to work. When on JB Motorsports don't we have trouble with things? I can't name a moment when we do. Don't. Let's try that. Oh, we've got somewhere. Boom, there we go. There we have it. Finally. So, back in play again. It was a... Oh, there we go. It was lagging a bit, but we're back. So, ball forward here by Sunderland now. Finds Troy Hume. He finds Moyenda now on the far side. He's looking to try and go forward, but tackle comes in from Ollie Scarles, so he has to let that one go. Scarles now looking to send it long on the far side. Dinks it forward in towards Castellanos. Finds Somerville, who passes it wide to Wan-Bissaka, and another big chance here for West Ham on the near side to do something. Wan-Bissaka cuts inside the area. Looks to try and find Bowen. Finds Bowen. Bowen goes for the shot. It was a poor one, and it's there for Pablo. It goes way too high. And there was also a bit of contact as well with Robin Roofs, but another great chance there for West Ham. Bowen had it on the edge of the area. He went for a shot. It was deflected away. Found Pablo, and he sent it way too high. And that could have been another great chance for West Ham. And I think if they're going 2-0 up in the 16th minute, you're looking at settling the game down already, which is, I don't think that's anything West Ham have done this season. They're always fighting until the end. But yet again, off the break, great chance by Wan-Bissaka to liven it up there for West Ham. And back with Rose here for Sunderland. Over towards Ballard. He sends it back here, so just along the defensive line here for Sunderland, halfway in their own area. And Sunderland just looking to slow things down at the moment. Of course, looking at the possession, over 70% for West Ham and a lot less for Sunderland. So West Ham here seem to be the dominant factor as Mundell now, just outside the area, finds Troy Hume, who goes on towards Mukiele on the far side. Of course, one of the culprits for that first goal conceded. It goes through and towards Brobby. It was a little bit too long and saved by Areola. Got down to it nice and quickly. And yet again, holds the pressure from Sunderland. As the ball goes forward, finds Souček just on the edge of the centre circle. Goes all the way back to Areola now. So he'll look to fire it forward. Off at the head of Ballard. Collected by Trey Hume with Sidibe now. Back to Mandava. Forward in towards Mayenda, who looks to find Lafay. Mundell now on the near side. He's being tracked down by Wan-Bissaka. Mundell not sure where to go. He decides to go back towards Mandava. Alderete back to Ballard now. So just on the edge of the centre circle in the Sunderland half. And they go all the way back to Robin Roof. So you can see again that they're kind of waiting for that perfect goal. They don't want to take many risks here. They're waiting for those perfect openings. And of course, many games this season that's worked. But of course, when they're 1-0 down, they have to kind of take some risks to get forward, because West Ham can afford to be a little bit more defensive. As Mayenda here on the far side goes out of play. And that was with Todibo. So I think that'll be a throw-in for Sunderland here. And it looks to be, I think, a long throw-in. Players heading towards the box. Big chance now for Sunderland to fight back and stay in this game as we head into the 20th minute of play. Headed high and forward. Goes across goal and saved by Areola. West Ham players rushing out. So Areola can send it high and far. Lands with Don Ballard, who heads it back towards Robin Roofs, and that stops the pressure from Pablo there. Yet again, Sunderland just calm with the ball at the back. Allowing West Ham just to kind of sit a little bit deeper here and close up and stop the pressure. Ballard here goes forward in towards Brobby, but Souček gets there first. It's a foul given the way of Sunderland as well. That was on Mavropanos there. And then it fell to Souček afterwards. So Sunderland here with a free kick just on the edge of the centre circle in the West Ham half. More over towards the far side of the pitch. It'll be Trey Hume taking this one. Looking to send it back into the field of play. Mandava now. With Hume. Wide out. Sunderland go for the cross into the area. Finds Ballard. And it goes out of play. It was another big chance there for Don Ballard. Of course, just like the header we saw when he sent Sunderland back up into the Premier League. Great ball in. And it was always going to be a bit of an odd angle there for Ballard. So still, it is West Ham 1, Sunderland 0 here. And of course, earlier in the season, Ballard wasn't actually getting that much game time, but over the season, he has started to play more and more here for the side. So, Lebray, a little bit more trust in Ballard. As Areola sends it down towards the centre of the pitch. Off at the head of Bowen, but falls to Mandava. Ballard now sends it out far onto the far side with Mukiele. He finds Trey Hume, who sends it back with Mavropanos now. Ooh, and Sadiba gets misplaced by Souček. Another big chance there for West Ham. With Bowen now, he sends it long, but finds Enzo Lafayette instead, who has a bit of a slip, but holds onto the ball. Try Hume now, out wide towards Mukiele, but it's taken by West Ham. And another chance here. Somerville on the far side, going for a run, slips over. Ballard was there first. Was it a free kick there given to West Ham? I don't think it was. I think it was more a bit of a slip and slide from Somerville rather than a push over by Ballard. Looking again, it was a great tackle, and yeah, you could see Somerville jumped over the ball. Well, jumped over Don Ballard's legs and slipped over on that one, but ball sent long here by Sunderland, back towards Roofs. Jared Bowen looking to press. Goes back towards Brobby now. Brobby with the ball, having a right good old tussle with Mavropanos, and it's given the way of Sunderland there. It'll be a free kick just inside their half. Jared Bowen not happy with the placement of the ball. He's asking them to move it back a little bit. Ball here with Hume on the near side. Looks to cross it into the area. Headed away by West Ham. Found by Lafay. But goes out of play, and that will be a throw in here for Sunderland. As it goes into the area. Headed away again by Souček. Found by Mundell. And now Castellanos chasing as the ball goes back towards Robin Roofs. Sent high. Finds Souček, who gets a push onto the floor by Ballard. A free kick given the way of West Ham. It has been a very choppy game. There's been lots of fouls committed here in this one. Of course, just a replay of the goal earlier on. Great header by Crescencio Somerville. Robin Roos is not going to be saving that one. Of course, he came out of nowhere. Mukiele didn't see him, and then it was always going to be on target, that one was. So we are into the 26th minute now, and it's West Ham 1, Sunderland 0. And a fun fact as well, with that assist there from Jared Bowen, that's the most goals and assists by any West Ham player, making it 102 to Antonio's 101. There's Jared Bowen with the ball again, finds Wan-Bissaka now on the near side. Push forward here for West Ham. In towards Pablo. Pablo passes it back to Wan-Bissaka on the near side. In towards the more middle of the pitch here with Mateus Fernandez. Somerville again on the far side. Looks to cross it over here towards Scholes, who makes his way into the area. And Troy Hume not happy there. And I think there's a penalty check here. No, I don't think nothing will come of that at all. Let's have a listen. Not sure what the referee's choosing to do here. So yes, it will be a penalty for West Ham. So Ollie Scholes there. I think it was a contact with the arm. Went down in the area. Sunderland, of course, trying to protest that one. And a chance here for West Ham to make it 2-0 in the 27th minute of play. Reynildo not happy. He's having a word with the referee. And Fernandez seemed to be a little bit cocky there with Reynildo. It seems that the man to be taking this one will be Jared Bowen. Of course, an assist earlier on. And it's Robin Roost's job to save this here. And of course, if it goes 2-0, it's so much work for Sunderland to do. But of course, West Ham will be hoping they can have that little bit of a buffer here and to make it 2 wins in 2. And I think that would be the first time this season they have won back-to-back games. So getting this penalty in here will be brilliant. So it's Jared Bowen on the ball. Referee gives the go-ahead. Bowen strikes and Bowen scores. And there we go. It's 2-0 for West Ham. Great ball into the bottom right-hand corner. And I mean, nobody would have expected the game to be going this way so early on. 28th minute, goal for Somerville and a goal for Jared Bowen. And West Ham now have, Sunderland, now have a lot of work to do to get themselves back into this game. West Ham extend that lead. It was a great ball into the bottom corner and an inch more to the left there for Roos, and he would have saved that. And Nuno was sitting on his chair, looking down, did not want to brace the chance of that not going in. And very happy to see West Ham extend that lead. So play will get back under again with Sunderland, of course, in the centre circle, all the way back to Robin Roofs. He fires it forward again onto the far side to try and find Mayenda. Can't do so. Finds Troy Hume instead. Back with West Ham now. Somerville on the far side looking to go forward. He gets tripped up by Ballard. Referee has got his hand in his pockets and a yellow card for Don Ballard. He's had a few chances in this game. And of course, that was one too many. So, Dan Ballard there with the yellow card. West Ham with that free kick just inside Sunderland half on the far side, a couple of yards in. So we'll see what West Ham can do here. So Fernandez is on this one. Everybody sat at about 10 yards out from the D. Mateus Fernandez sends it forward into the area, off of the head of Souček. Off of the head again, Roos gets there first, and Castellanos nearly with his first goal for the team. Of course, joining a couple of weeks ago, and now on his third start for the team. So Roos now gets the ball out towards Ballard. Finds Troy Hume. Back towards West Ham's possession again. Somerville on the far side, looking to cut inside and go for another chance. Somerville sent it forward. It came off I think it was off of Reinildo, so it will be another corner here for West Ham. And ever since, I'd say, the 5th minute, West Ham have been the better team here and the dominating factor. And of course, you sit here and start to think, if this is a sort of pressure that Sunderland get when they haven't got Granit Xhaka, if he's out for a while, they could be going for a spot of bother for the next month or two. But it's a ball into the area by Somerville. Punched away by Roofs. Lands to Mateus Fernandez. He sends it back towards Wan-Bissaka on the near side. Forward in towards Jared Bowen. A few players looking for the switch here. Fernandez back with Wan-Bissaka over towards Scarles now. He's looking for the long cross over to the near side to try and find Bowen. Goes over the head of Bowen and goes out of play. That'll be a throw in the way of Sunderland here. It won't be Mundell, it'll be Reinildo taking this one. So Sunderland now with a chance to get back into it here. Out of play again, and this time it will be... Oh, another Sunderland throw. I thought that would have been given away of West Ham there. It looked like it came off the leg of Castellanos, but no. It was off of Reinildo again. Reinildo sends it back into play. Out once again, and this time it will be given away of West Ham. So just flirting a lot here on the edge of the touchline, just in halfway in towards the Sunderland half. Headed up and high away by Alderate. Souček falls to it, sends it forward, but it goes all the way back to Roos here. And he's looking to send it long, sending all of the Sunderland players forward. Alderate tries to link up with Reinildo, but he said goes back to Roos. So they've done that quite a lot this game, and I don't know if that's the fact they're quite happy just to sit with the ball when they can, or if they're not a bit afraid of trying to go forward themselves. Ball goes forward in towards Trey Hume. This is on the near side, just adjacent of the penalty area. Picked up by Lafay. Mundell there with the ball, looks to try and cut inside. Cuts inside of the penalty area. Mundell with it still, back towards Sidibe. Ballard collects it on the far side here with Mukiele. He finds Mayenda. Mayenda goes high, headed away by Todibo. He keeps it in play. Low across the floor, Scarles sends it forward. Back towards Alderate on the halfway line. Reinildo now looking to collect this. It goes forward. We've got Brian Bobby, who was down for a moment. West Ham with a chance to go forward again here with Pablo. Goes back towards Mateus Fernandez. Souček now on the centre of the field. Goes forward and to the far side towards Somerville, who collects it nicely. Back with Mavropanos. Forward towards Jared Bowen again. Another great ball onto this right-hand wing. Bowen beats his man. He looks to go into the area. He gets taken down, and it's another free kick given towards West Ham. And it's another card for the Sunderland defence. This time it's for Reinildo Mandava. Looking at it again, he just pulls down Jared Bowen. And that is certainly a yellow card worthy foul. And that is not what you want early, well, not early on, but into the 35th minute. Two of your defenders with yellow cards. Really puts you into a bit of a vulnerable position when it comes to making some late game tackles and fouls. Of course, you've got to be very tactical with how you do it. So this is just opposite the penalty spot here. A couple of yards into the field of play. And it's Fernandez and Scarles on this one. Of course, this could be a great chance for West Ham to make it 3-0 before we even get to half-time. In the area, players waiting. Scarles sends it in. It's a low cross. It's flashed across goal and goes back out of play. It was headed away by Enzo Lafay. So it'll be another throw-in chance here for West Ham. As it'll be Aaron Wan-Bissaka taking this one. Finds Bowen. Bowen sends it high into the area. Off of the head of Pablo. Still with Bowen in the area. Reinildo's getting there first, though. He fires it forward to try and Brobby. But instead it falls to Wan-Bissaka. And the ball did go out of play there. So it's a throw-in for Sunderland, who really now need to get back into this game. Of course, an early goal by Somerville, followed by a penalty by Jared Bowen. Makes it West Ham 2, Sunderland 0. And of course, it gets tricky heading into half-time now, because Sunderland haven't really been in many positions where they've been the team which is nowhere near the dominant factor. And of course, they've not been the best when it comes to defence. But it's back in the area here with Somerville. Misplaced by Mukiele. He finds Brian Brobby, who looks to go forward to Mayenda, but he's having a tussle with Mavropanos. Sidibe finds it. Trey Hume in towards Mukiele. Out wide towards Mayenda. Big chance here for Sunderland. As it goes out of play, it was a dink in the air by Mukiele, and it was misplaced. And it's seeming like one of those games now where Sunderland are trying everything they can, and they just can't do anything. And every time they try something, it's a mistake made. So this is not going well at all for them. As Ballard wins the header. Forward towards Mayenda. He finds Trey Hume, but displaced by Mavropanos. He looks to run forward. Somerville with the ball on the far side, just adjacent to the penalty area. Looking for his options. Mavropanos now goes all the way back to Souček, who was seen a lot in this match, just drive back into more of a defender position. Somerville on the edge of the area once more. Looks to cut into the area with Fernandez. Souček, but Sunderland get to it. It's a big chance for Enzo Lefebvre to run forward. He looks to try and find Brian Brobby. He finds Mundell. Oh, and it was a little bit too much power. And it goes out of play again. So, West Ham with another throw in here. It was a great ball by Brobby. Just a little bit too much power. Great idea. And it would have been, I think, a little bit fearful for West Ham if Mundell got to that one. And with since that penalty, Sunderland have turned it on a little bit more here. Have looked to have a little bit more tempo and speed. Looking just to get the ball forward a bit more now. As with Ballard now. Towards Alderete. Cuts it into the midfield. Mundell wins it. Enzo Lefebvre now. Back over towards the Sunderland defence as they now enter into the West Ham half. Ball out wide towards Hume. Finds Mayenda, who's still out wide. He looks for the run. And it's a throw, and given away of Sunderland. It was kicked out of play by Ollie Scarles. So we'll see what Sunderland can do here with 5 minutes to go in this first half. And of course, we'll give them some confidence if they can, stay a goal. If they can get that first goal in, going a goal down after being 2 goals down gives you a little bit of confidence heading into that second half. Mukiele makes a full run along the wing, out of play, goal kick given to West Ham. And Mukiele not happy with that one. He feels he was fouled there. But Areola with this one again, who hasn't had that much work to do, apart from that early chance for Sidibe with that initial corner that we saw in the first 5 or 10 minutes. And that's when you thought, hang on, Sunderland are up for it. Then, of course, Crescencio Somerville got that header. And then it was a penalty for Jared Bowen. And that knocked a lot of spark out of Sunderland. So forward here with Areola. Goes onto the near side towards Castellanos. Down goes Hume. Play is continued on here. Mundell's on the near side of the ball. Heads it back towards Lefebvre, but won by Jared Bowen. Jared Bowen still with the ball. He's collided with Reinildo, and it's given the way of West Ham again. Sunderland here getting rather feisty now when Bowen down again. Of course, the last time he went down, it was a yellow card for Reinildo. This time it was just a warning. As it will be Mavropanos taking this one. Sends it forward. Looks to try and link up with Somerville, but headed away by Mukiele and goes out of play again. Scarles with the throw-in just inside the Sunderland area. It's back now with the defence of West Ham. Back to Areola. Forward now on the near side towards Jared Bowen. Out to play again, and that will be a throw-in for Sunderland. Nuno looking to be a little bit happier on that touchline. Not as neutral-faced as he normally is. Still here with the West Ham defence now. Back with Ollie Scarles. Fernandez sends it forward to try and find Somerville. Can he find Somerville? Yes, he can. A great break forward here for West Ham to go 3-0 up. Finds Castellanos. He looks for a strike. It gets deflected back in towards Mateus Fernandez, who scores! What a goal there by Fernandez. Outside of the area, about 20 yards back, and that is a class finish for West Ham. And then they make it 3 before half-time. Clinical strike, and it was a clinical finish. And I don't think Robin Roos was getting to that one anytime soon. So, 43rd minute of play. West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. And what a way for for West Ham to head into half-time. So, watching this again, it was a great ball forward by Fernandez, who found Somerville. Somerville got to it. He then tried to send it in towards Castellanos. He had a shot, deflected off of Don Ballard, fell back to Fernandez, who just went for the shot, and it went in the back of the net. Great finish there by Mateus Fernandez. And he will be certainly happy with that one. And heading into the season, how many goals is that for him now? It's his 3rd goal this season. I mean, Roos did get a hand on it, but he just shot his hand back. He was never going to stop that one in with the power and drive that it had. And West Ham now lead by 3. And I don't think this was what anybody was imagining earlier on, that West Ham would be 3-0 up by the time we go into half-time. And, of course, that puts pressure on the likes of Nottingham Forest, who are only now 2 points ahead of them. So, tricky times now for Sean Dyche. And, of course, Nuno a little bit happier with how things have gone recently. 2 wins in the last 2 games. If this stays how it does, which I can't see it changing here, and that's certainly something that West Ham need. And just looking here at the face of the Sunderland fans, and they just look, there's no words for them, considering they've been so strong this season and falling 3-0 down before half-time to a team that is in the relegation zone. Makes you wonder how much they need the likes of Granit Xhaka. As Eldorate now fires it forward. He looks to try and find Brobby, headed away by Mavropanos. That'll go out for a corner. And of course, West Ham are probably happy just to concede a corner, because right now, they'll do anything just to stop Sunderland from scoring. And yes, a corner can lead to a goal, but they've just got to play defensive here. And we have got 3 minutes of added time in this one. As Enzo Lafay on the near side sends it in towards the far post. Lands with Sadibi. He sends it all the way back towards Robin Roofs. Sadibi now fires it forward into the middle of the penalty area. He looks to try and find the head of Ballard. Out of play, and it will fall to another goal kick here for West Ham. And this is a perfect way for their afternoon to go. Of course, the early kick-off in the Premier League, you never back the early kick-off, but, well, whoever backed West Ham are having a very, very good time at the moment. As we look to get back under play once again. And even though they're 3-0 up, Nuno still has something to be annoyed about. Very neutral-faced, as he always is. Can never be happy, can Nuno. There's now Reinildo with the ball on the near side. Looks to send it in towards the opposite half. Finds Mundle as it's thrown back into play. Mundle gets taken down there by Pablo. Pablo with the ball. Finds Bowen. Bowen tries to go forward. He goes down, and that's a free kick given the way of West Ham. Bowen in a bit of pain. And it's Reinildo again who is the causer of that one. Let's have a look once more. Oh, it was a bit of a stamp on the foot. Nothing intentional. Just a misplace of Reinildo's foot looking for the ball and found the left foot of Jarrod Bowen. So we get going once again. Another chance for West Ham to do something here and to make it 4 before half-time. Around 40 seconds to go in the first half. And it will be Fernandez to send this one forward. Mundell, a little sitting just on his own ahead, and then everybody else in a line just across the D. Referee waiting to get things back underway. Players run forward. Fernandez sends it in, and Souček was looking for it, but he ran offside, so he had to leave that one. And then again, straight back towards Areola. That's what West Ham are happy to do. If they make a mistake, don't let Sunderland get on the counter-attack. Just get it back to Areola and just build out again. But here we are, half-time at the London Stadium. West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. It was a great first header by Crescencio Somerville. Second goal, it was a foul on Ollie Scarles in the penalty area. And then, of course, that third goal, a brilliant strike from Mateus Fernandez, who gives West Ham a 3-0 lead heading into the second half. We'll be back shortly. We're going to hear from TNT, and then we'll be back for some pre-second half analysis.
to say, all game. And what a header. If you watch him just drifted in Somerville. As soon as Bowen gets the ball, he's drifted in there, and he's got the march on Ukulele. What a header.
I don't think many people in here knew he could jump that high.
No, but it just shows you when you've got the ascendancy, when you're moving and the defender's not. Doesn't matter how big you are, but to finish in the manner he did, the neck muscles, the power, it was a great header.
And then they were awarded a penalty. We spoke about the importance of academy graduates being in this team, Kaz, and it was Ollie Scholes who won it.
Yeah, he did really well getting higher up the pitch. So important, but his first touch was really strong, because I love any player getting inside the penalty area because it's so vulnerable, and Humes there pulls out his leg and it's contact, it's a penalty. So brilliant from Scholes there, and brilliantly executed from Bowen. He'd already got the assist earlier for the Somerville goal, and then slots it, because that was difficult, there's pressure on him. If he misses that, that could equally turn in here, but the captain steps up, got a goal and assist already at this point. Really good start from the wingers, both of them.
Yeah, he really kept his cool. His 103rd goal involvement for West Ham, more than anyone, but this one, Crouchy from Fernandez, the pick of the bunch.
Yeah, what we like about this from Fernandez, obviously we track his run, because he's in between the centre halves, he's got great range of passing, plays a beautiful ball out wide, but doesn't rest on it, gets into the box, and then this is just all about the quality he possesses. Like, little first touch, it's kind of almost stuck under his feet a little bit, so to get that kind of purchase and that kind of power from that distance, it seems to get quicker as it hits the back of the net.
It's all about his first touch though here, just sets him on his way, but unbelievable. Look, the goalkeeper's in brilliant form, so to beat him as well, like you're right, just first touch, any time, you'll know better than me, Crouchy, but first touch is so key in any type of finish.
Yeah, the first touch, I've never hit a second like that though.
Hands up, who predicted this score at half-time?
I don't think one person in this stadium would have predicted it, to be honest, the way they've been playing. But listen, it's slightly better. They've played QPR, another win at Spurs, and again hopefully today.
Yeah, they are getting the good times back, it feels, here at the London Stadium. Forest fans not enjoying this one. Crescencio Somerville with a brilliant header to give the Hammers the lead, and then Jared Bowen keeping his composure for the spot before Mateus Fernandez with an absolute banger to make it 3-0 to the Hammers at half-time.
Bazinga.
Sheldon sit. The Big Bang Theory, weekdays from 5, exclusively free on TLC or stream on Discovery Plus.
Kathy.
You know, there are some combinations in life that are absolutely perfect, like a Yorkshire pudding wrap filled with roast beef and live Gallagher Prem Rugby on a Saturday. Throw into that the equivalent of mashed potato, i.e. Harlequins against Leicester Tigers, and it's absolutely perfect. It's all coming your way right after the football. How much beef? It's too much beef, people. Oh.
Well, that doesn't look too bad, Craig, but the pie, mash and liquor here at the London Stadium is not too bad either. Crouchy can vouch for that as well.
I've had two of them. Tony's pie mash always looks after us at West Ham.
Yeah, loads of the fans enjoying it, and they're enjoying what they witnessed in that first half as well. They are 3-0 up against Sunderland, in total control as well. We're getting news as well that there's going to be a triple sub perhaps for Sunderland. We're just waiting on the details for that, but I wouldn't be surprised, Kaz, if Reinildo goes off. He's on a yellow and walking a tightrope.
And of course, Bowen was having a great game, so straight away, if you're on a yellow card, keep giving him 1v1, so that would be the smart one, but we'll see who the changes are potentially.
Well, they're on their way out, so let's hand you back to our commentary team. It's over to Ali McCoist, and first back to you, Darren Fletcher.
Thank you, Lindsay. Let's tell you who the changes are then. So Reinildo is going off, and Dennis Sirkin, the former Tottenham player, is going to come on and play at left-back. The other two, Trey Hume, who gave away the penalty, is going to be replaced by the club record signing Habib Diarra. And I think we're also going to be Shemstein Talby coming on for Romain Mundle. So they're going to be the three changes for Sunderland. I suppose, Ali, desperate times call for desperate measures. No surprise that he's ripped it up and started again.
No.
Regis Lebris.
Absolutely no surprise at all. They've been very, very poor the first.
And we are back here for the second half action. And we're back for the second half action. There we go. As we have three changes being made, as you could probably hear a moment ago, for Sunderland. I'm going to adjust that quickly. There we go. So we've got off-coming Reinildo for Dennis Sirkin, Hume off for Diarra, and then Mundle off for Talby. So, kind of reset, I suppose, here for Sunderland and see if they can try and fire something up with these three changes early on. And, I mean, when you're making three changes at half-time, that's when you know something's gone wrong. And Lebris has had to go for a completely, well, not a completely new system, but has had to change it out quite a lot with the entry of Sirkin, Diarra and Talby. But here we go for the second half now. And as you could see, it was heading into the second half. West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. Trying to catch up with the timer. There we go. Tom is back on. We're good to rock and roll here for the second half. And Sunderland with a chance to cross it over towards Talby. Finds Sirkin. Oh, and Sirkin goes down. And I think that's given the way of West Ham. But, of course, that is a completely different left-hand side here with both Reinildo and Mundle off. Of course, Sirkin and Talby replaced. So we'll see what those can do. Of course, there was no changes at all for West Ham. But, of course, they'll be happy to continue play like this. They've been so good in the first half. Here with Mukiele. Of course, Ballard and Alderete at the back. They've got Lafay, who kind of just sits in the middle, but he can also move out to the wing. He's quite a versatile player in his position. Of course, he's with Siddiqui, and then up front it's Wayenda and Brian Brobby. I mean, it's one of those games where you sit here and you think, right, this is done for West Ham. It's 3-0, it's over. But you start there, you sit there and think, well, actually, you know what? Wouldn't be surprised if Sunderland can try and, bring a fight back in this game. If they can get a goal here and go, maybe get 2, they're in this game. I think even with 1 goal, they can get back into it. Of course, they've just got to keep that pressure on. And it was something they did in the first 10 minutes, and they were the better team. And of course, after conceding 1, it just fell apart for them, as it was given as a throw in there for West Ham, just on the halfway line pretty much. To be Ollie Scarles sending this one in, who of course won the penalty for West Ham to give them that 2-0 lead. Been great on that left-hand side as it goes back to Aliola now in goal. Brian Brobby looking to press down. Ball goes long, and the ball, I think, has just gone out of play. So it'll be a throw in here for Sunderland. Dan Ballard sends it back in towards Robin Roos in the penalty area. He sends it to Alrati in that centre-back position. Hits a Ballard down on the near side. He finds Mukiele, who looks to try and find Mayenda, but can't do so. And Diarra looking to press high and stop West Ham from going forward here. Diarra still chasing Todibo back to the penalty area pretty much. Todibo holds it, but it goes in towards Mayenda, and still a bit of a tassel here with a few of them. West Ham won it in the end, and I think it was Fernandez ended up running into Souček, rather, one of the Sunderland players. So, down went Fernandez. Lefay and Brobby were involved in that one, and Fernandez still on the floor in pain, of course. Gave West Ham that 3-0 lead with a superb finish. And, of course, it'll be gutting to see him full fail of an issue, but he's back up and ready to go. And it'll be Areola taking this free kick here. There's all the West Ham players now just running forward. And, of course, just constantly trying to keep the pressure on here to Sunderland. As Ballard sends it away, falls to Dennis Serkin. Basaka, just halfway into the half, sends it high and wide, and Brian Bromley looking to win the ball as Mavropanos goes down, just on the edge of the centre circle. West Ham win it back as it's going to be sent down long here with Todibo. Somerville takes hold of it, and West Ham there just getting it back to safety, back to Areola, and they can look to build up and go again. It's sent flying forward now towards Ballard. It was a bit of a misplaced ball there by Areola. As Talby makes a run, doesn't find Talby. It was going for Brobby, but he was a little bit too far forward. Somerville now on the near side with the ball. Just passes it back towards Ollie Scarls in the left-back area. With Todibo, who goes forward into Souček, finds Scarls again on the near side. Falls to Pablo, who looks to send it long. It collides with the head of Enzo Lefay. Drops back to his feet. Switch of play here for West Ham as it goes towards Jared Bowen. He's being tracked by Dennis Serkin. Fernandez now sends it onto the near side towards Somerville. He looks to run forward. Could it be 2 goals for him? He sends it in towards Castanelos. It stays in. Ballard gets there first, sends it away. Falls to Fernandez once more. And Tati Castellanos there with a big chance. Somerville now in the area. Falls back to Lefay, who finds Diarra. Diarra's going forward on the near side, looking to make the run. Gets beaten by Todibo. Ball goes out of play. A throw-in given to Sunderland. And they really have turned it up a notch in this second half. They need to, if they want any chance of taking a point or 3 away from this game. So taking this one will be, I believe, Diarra. No, it's not. It's going to be Mukiele. Passes it back from player 19 to player 20. Into play. Goes all the way back towards Ballard in the line of defence here. As Sunderland are just halfway in their own half. Ballard finds Sidibe. Sidibe into Lefay. And Lefay's playing more of a central midfielder position here today. And the ball goes long and high towards Talby. Oh, and he got a foot on it, but it goes out, and it will be a goal kick here to West Ham. So we'll see what they'll do. It goes to Todibo. Who looks to find Areola, sends it forward now. towards Alderate, who knocks it back. Goes to Souček. Somerville wins it. Just on the near side here, just opposite the manager dugout. Falls back to Mukiele. He's now got the ball. Looks to send it forward here off of the throw-in. But he does opt to go back to Ballard again. With Alderate now. And many times, a lot of Sunderland players have been making the runs forward, but they're just not spotted by the centre-backs. There's a moment of scare there for Ballard as Fernandez ran in. But it drops back out for another throw-in here for Sunderland. Brian Bobby looking to win it on the near side. He does win the ball, but he gets pulled down. But a referee allows advantage here. Mayenda looks to send it forward. It finds Fernandez just outside the penalty area. So West Ham want to get this one away. Souček gets tripped up, and it'll be a foul on Brian Bobby there. Just slightly tripped up Tomas Souček. So we get back under play now. Fernandez finds Bowen. Once Pablo. He's still tackling here. Forward now with Sunderland. They got a great chance, Diarra, but he goes back instead, and that gets all the liveliness out of that run forward. Lefay onto the far side here with Sirkin. Sidibe now looking to run forward on the far side, still here with Sunderland. Back to Lefay, who switches sides, goes to Dan Ballard. He sends it onto the wing with Mayenda. Goes out to play, a throw in here for Sunderland. It was Ollie Scarles there who set that one out. So Mukiele with the ball. About 10 yards out from the penalty area here. We're sending this one into play. Looks to find the head of Lefay. Falls back to Mukiele. He then gets it headed away by Mavropanos. Gets beaten by Somerville, who slips over. No foul given. Mukiele carries on forward here with Diarra on the near side. He looks to switch it in towards Brobby in the centre of play. He still re-keeps the ball. Finds Enzo Lefay, who passes it out wide, but ends up falling to Wan-Bissaka. Jarrod Bowen now on the far side. He's looking to run forward. Lefay there with him. Still going forward here with Jarrod Bowen, but he just slightly knocks it out of play. And it's a throw-in for Sunderland. And Bowen, thinking that it wasn't him who knocked the ball out. He was thinking it was Enzo Lefay. But it will be Dennis Sirkin taking this one, of course, who came on at half-time. And West Ham fans very happy in the crowd. Or in the stands, I should say. There's one by Pablo. Back with Fernandez, who's still in the centre of the field here. Brian Brobby looking to stop that one from going anywhere. But it goes back to West Ham's defence now. Mavropanos sends it long and high. Looking to find Castellanos. Can't do so. Falls to Alderete, who slips off the ball. It goes to Castellanos. It's a big chance again for West Ham. As Pablo, just on the edge of the penalty area with the ball, but Sidibe gets there. Stops that one from going anywhere. Sidibe falls over. I think that was a push there by Pablo. So it's given away of Sunderland. Quick view of this again. So Alderete hold the ball, but he slipped over the top of the ball. Pablo got to it. Then he got displaced by Sidibe. So Tati Castellanos nearly with a chance to score his first goal for the Hammers, but it wasn't quite to be there as Robin Roos sends it forward in towards the centre of the field. Souček heads it forward. Now Sunderland back with it again here. Diarra on the near side. He looks a shot on goal from a very odd angle and gets tucked away by Todibo. So it's a corner here for Sunderland. Heading into the 58th minute of play here. It's West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. Of course, great goals from Somerville and Fernandez, and then it was a penalty for Jarrod Bowen As he goes Lafay now. Corner, sends it into the area. Off of the head of Mavropanos. Finds Sirkin. It was always a dodgy ball for him there. Diarra looks to chip it over forward. He can't do anything with that, so it falls towards Basaka. Wan-Bissaka running forward now. Sidibe's there, tracking him down, so he's had to pause that play and just force himself to go back to safety. Just heading into the Sunderland half now with Wan-Bissaka. Mukiele wins it, but it will be given as a foul. Given towards West Ham. So, obviously, everyone getting back. Oh, dear me. But it's taken quickly here. Somerville on the near side, looking to head his way into towards the area. Does go into the box. A low cross over goal. Nobody's there. Ballard sends it out of play, so it's a corner here for Sunderland, for West Ham. It'll be Crescencio Somerville taking this one. As Alderete sits a little bit further back, the ball goes into the area, very low. It's a shot by Fernandez, which goes absolutely nowhere near goal. So we'll go back under play here. It'll be Ballard and Roos who send us off. Of course, another moment there for West Ham to do something, but they're not going to be too forceful now on getting a goal because they've got 3 of them and they have a 3-goal lead, so they can just be a little bit calmer now on the ball here. As Ballard sends it forward in towards Brobby. Mavropanos gets there first, and Wan-Bissaka now on the far side. Looks to send it forward now. Won by Sirkin. Bowen there as well. Goes out of play and it'll be a throw-in for West Ham here. Sirkin wins it, but it was always a bit of a dodgy ball and Bowen got there. And let's see who sent it out. I think it will be a throw-in for West Ham here. Bowen did a great job of holding Sirkin back from the ball. And it's won here by Sunderland. With Mienda now on the near side. Plays darting forward, but Ollie Scarles drops him there. Scarles keeps it in play, but knocks it out of play. And it's a throw in here for Sunderland. As it's Roos here in towards Sidibe. With Alderete on the far side here. Oh, and Talbot looking for the run forward, but Souček gets there. Still on this far side here with West Ham. He goes forward in towards Castellanos. Souček wins it on the wing here, so he looks to pass it forward in towards Pablo. He's going towards the middle. Bowen now on the far side. Wan-Bissaka, who sends it forward in towards Pablo, and some brilliant footwork here by West Ham, who have controlled the ball and they've just sent it back towards the centre circle. They've swapped sides to find Somerville, but they unfortunately found Mukiele instead. Ollie Scarles with the throw-in now for West Ham. Todibo and Mavropanos with the ball now. And West Ham here doing a great job in this one. Of course, Sunderland, I think going into this, initially you would have thought that would have had the upper hand here. Or at least they would have been fighting more in terms of a draw. But it seems like we're in the 62nd minute. They haven't scored a goal. 3-0 down. You're starting to think that already the game might be over for, or well over for Sunderland. And it's just now West Ham and Nuno's job just to get this one across the line. They've done that 3 times. They got to do it once more, and that's when the 90th minute whistle blows. And West Ham can sit a little bit higher up in the table. Well, closer to 17th, I should say. They were, I think, 8 points back from the safety earlier on this season. They're now only 2 points back. So they've really done a good job of getting points when Nottingham Forest haven't. And here was Somerville again on the near side, just on the edge of the penalty area. Works his way in, feeds it in, finds Castellanos, who shoots, and saved by Robin Roofs. Another good chance there for Castellanos. He's had a couple so far this game, just not ever any that's led to a goal here. It's forward now here with Sidibe. In towards Ballard now. Just heading inside the West Ham half for Sunderland. Mayenda's on the wing on the right. He looks to go forward, can't do so. Michieli wins the ball away from Mateus Fernandez. Goes back towards Ballard once more. Now here goes Roofs again forward. In towards the Sunderland, into the West Ham half. Looks to find Brobby. Does find Brobby. And it was offside as well. And I think it was Fernandez too. Also being fouled. Of course, heading into the 65th minute now. We'll see when Nuno decides to make any substitutions in this one. But seems quite happy to let this play on. As you can see, Callum Wilson was just having a warm-up. He might be coming on soon, I believe. He's looking to get stripped into his kit. As he goes, Sunderland. Sidibe finds Diarra. Plays running forward now. Diarra's still going forward. Trying to find Mukiele, who wins the ball. Across goal, it's a header and it's in! It's a goal for Brian Brobby. And of course it brings one back for Sunderland here. In a game where they don't look like they've been in it at all ever since that first goal for West Ham. And Sunderland bring one back. If they can bring back a second, there's a big chance this game could go all the way to the 90th minute. It was a great ball by Diarra. And it was Todibo who was there to block off Mukiele. Didn't see Mukiele running at him at all. He wins the ball over in towards Brian Brobby. And it was a class header. And Areola was nowhere near that one. But Sunderland still trying to fight back. West Ham 3, Sunderland 1. So here we go again. And Brian Brobby has scored 5 goals now this season in 17 games. He started 8 of them. Oh, and Sunderland there nearly trying to go for another goal. They was running forward, but it was tucked away by Mateus Fernandez. Robin Roofs now finds Sidibe. In towards Sidibe again. It's on this right-hand side. Castellanos wins the ball. It goes out of play. Back with Diarra on this near side now. And Sunderland really seem to be firing up here. Alderete sends it out wide towards Sirkin. And Sirkin going forward now. In towards Diarra. Inside the West Ham half now. Diarra's looking to pass it out onto the wing to Mukiele, who of course just got that assist. Mukiele still has the ball. Looking to go back to safety with it here. And it goes back to Sidibe, who's solidified himself more near the defensive line as it's a ball into the area. saved by Areola. Great ball in, but nobody was there to get their head on it. And here we have a substitution for West Ham. I believe it'll be Tati Castellanos coming off, and it'll be Callum Wilson coming on, who, of course, after coming on in the 91st minute, scored a goal in the 92nd. So maybe they want some of that Callum Wilson look again. As here goes Sirkin now on the far side. Still with Talby, who gets dispossessed by Bowen. Bowen's forward now on the far side. Looks to try and find Pablo. Pablo has no idea what he's doing with the ball. It flies up in the air. It's won by Lefay, and he loses position there. As it's with Talby still. He goes back to Ballard inside the Sunderland half. Mukiele now goes forward into Lefay. Lefay looking to find Diarra again. Out wide towards Mayenda. You got Sirkin and Enzo Lefay moving over. And, oh, that's a bit of an odd ball. I think it was deflected off West Ham there. It went high and Tadiro was there to send it away. We've also got another change as well coming on for West Ham. But Mukiele now with the throw-in, of course. 1 assist around 5 minutes ago. Could he make it 2 assists here with the long throw-in towards the area? Mukiele sends it in. It goes high in towards Lefay. Headed away by Tomasz Souček. Won again by Mukiele. He's in battle with Somerville. And Somerville, with a little bit more of a burst of pace, wins it. And it's a throw-in going the way of West Ham here. Great job by Somerville there just to get that one to safety. And coming on, we have, of course, Callum Wilson, but also Diouf as well. And off comes Pablo. And Skulls too. So on comes Diouf and Wilson. Off goes Pablo and Ollie Skulls. As we head into the 17th minute of play now. So it's a foul there on Dan Ballard. So, Castellanos with a yellow card there for that foul on Ballard. But of course, sometimes it's desperate times, desperate measures here. And even though they've still got a 2-goal buffer, it's one of those moments where an extra goal here for Sunderland only puts them one away. And that's when you really have to be careful. But it's in by Lenzo Lefay. It goes just towards the penalty spot. It falls forward towards Brian Brobby, but won by Areola. So West Ham with the ball again, with Wan-Bissaka now on the far side. He's looking to send it long. He does send it long. Will it meet Callum Wilson? Callum Wilson falls for it, but it goes back to Roofs, who looks to get play back underway again. So with Dan Ballard here, just trading there with Diarra. Onto the far side now. Switch of play as Alderete finds Sidibe, who finds Sirkin, and Talby was looking for the run, but wasn't saw there by Dennis Sirkin. And just still now back with the Sunderland back four. Mukiele in towards Mayenda. Mukiele again keeps running forward. He gets knocked over, and it will be a free kick here for Sunderland. They get things going quickly here with Enzo Lefay. He finds Mayenda. Now in towards Diarra. Needs to look for an option in. Goes back towards Lefay. Onto the halfway line now with Ballard. Switches over to the left-hand side with Alderete. He sends it long. It falls towards Sidibe. Won by Jared Bowen, though. And it'll be a free kick given either way as Callum Wilson got tucked down by Alderete. So heading into the 73rd minute now, and it's West Ham 3, Sunderland 1. And it seems Sunderland might have a change here as well. Couldn't quite see who that was from the angle. Of course, 3 changes already have been made by Sunderland so far. Sirkin, Diarra and Talby coming on, with Ronaldo, Hume and Mundle going off. That was at half-time. No changes since. They've scored a goal since as well. As West Ham send it long on the far side, it drops towards Wan-Bissaka, falls to the foot of Sidibe. Enzo Lefay now fires it forward, on towards Talby on the wing. Can Talby win the ball? He can, but it goes out of play. And he looks frustrated with that one. I mean, he should be. It was a perfect chance for Sunderland to create some pressure there. It's now with Wan-Bissaka, who sends it back into play. Souček sends it forward, and I think it's gone out of play again. It has done so. So Alderete with the ball to throw it back in. And then we pass it to Dennis Sirkin. And we have a substitution for Sunderland. And I think that might be Wilson Isidore coming on as well. Of course, has been a brilliant player this season. Was rumoured as well to be leaving West Ham to go to Everton, I think it was, earlier in the window. But Wilson Isidore comes on. And I believe that was Brian Brobby who came off. And also Castellanos too coming off. And who comes on for him? It'll be Potts on for Castellanos. And then, of course, Isidore as well. Isidore coming on as well. It was Brian Brobby that came off. Never mind, I don't think it was. I think it was... I think it was Mayenda that came off, actually. They haven't even updated it on the timeline, so I can't see. But forward here with Sunderland as caught by Areola. I'm just waiting for confirmation of who came off there because even Google haven't posted it, and that's not fun. He's a throw-in for West Ham. As off came Mayenda. There we go, I got it in the end. But here we go, back under play. Somerville now on the near side, looking for a run. I think was a foul, though, in the process. He's been called back. Given the way of Sunderland here. So here with Ballard. He goes forward towards Mukiele, but goes back to Ballard again. And with 15 minutes to go, it's all down to seeing here what Sunderland can do to try and bring this one back into their hands. Sirkin breaks into the centre of the field, finds Ballard, who's going to run forward. Send it out wide to Mukiele again. Mukiele sends a cross in. Falls to Isidore. But it drops back towards Todibo. And back to safety there for Sunderland as Callum Wilson was on the run forward there once the ball got deflected away. Diarra again. Sends it back towards Sidibe. In towards Lefay. Run forward here for Sunderland. Diarra once more. Looking to send it back in towards Sidibe. Finds Talby. Alderetta now onto the far side here with Dennis Sirkin. Finds Talby again, looking for the cross into the area. Souček's there with him. Talby here just looking to try and get an option. He runs forward. Souček wins it. Souček has won the ball here for West Ham, but Alderetta gets on the end of it once it gets fired forward towards Jarrod Bowen. And Sunderland here applying a lot of pressure on. As Mukiele looks for the high cross. It lands back with Mukiele, but it goes out of play, and it'll be a Sunderland, a West Ham throw-in. So Sunderland gets back underway again. Offered the head of Ballard. Falls to Fernandez, goes out of play. And then that will be a throw-in again for West Ham. It'll be Diouf taking this one. And Diouf just looking for the run. Off of Dan Ballard now. Souček sends it forward again. There's been a lot of... Well, he said head action, but that sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? There's been lots of head work involved in this one, especially between Souček and Ballard, who are very good at winning headers. Sunderland look to push forward, but it's won by Diouf and then in towards Somerville. And, of course, Sunderland, West Ham would love another goal here just to put this game to bed. It's a foul. I think that was given on. Sunderland, it was a yellow card given to Siddiqui. So Somerville ran in. So Siddiqui tripped up Somerville. Then he landed on Mukiele. So it's a yellow card given towards Siddiqui. And both Somerville and Mukiele fell foul of that one. I'd say many of these players probably are lucky not to have a yellow card beforehand, because earlier on in that first half especially, Sunderland were tripping up and knocking over left, right and centre. So I think it's more the fact of maybe that foul itself wasn't worth a yellow card, but he's been doing quite a lot on the field. And Mukiele still looking in a bit of pain with his hand. Not looking too happy. So free kick for West Ham here. It's Fernandez just outside the area. About 10 yards out. Players looking for it to go forward. Fernandez fires it in. Can he go off ahead? No. Souček was there, but was headed away by Enzo Lefay. Back in the area. Falls towards Wilson. And then we saw Mavropanos just try to fire it on goal. It went way too wide, and it'll be a goal kick here for West Ham. For Sunderland. Here we go again. So, Roof sends it out wide on the far side towards Alderetta. Alderetta over towards Dan Ballard here, who moves the ball forward. With Mukiele. And with Diarra. Finds Mavropanos on the far side. Sirkin with it. Between him and Talby. They move forward again. Dan Ballard enters the West Ham half here. Enzo Lefay into Talby on the far side. Dennis Sirkin now with an opportunity to cross into the box. He finds Talby. Talby crosses in, looking for Brobby. Can't find Brobby. Isidore with the shot, and it goes way too high of goal. But of course, it was nice to see Isidore getting a chance on goal here. Of course, Isidore's been brilliant this season. He scored 4 goals. I'm sure the first, 6 games of the season, he scored 3 of them. He was on fire at the start of the season. Had a few games out, and since then hasn't been doing too much for the team. So Mukiele's come off for Sunderland and Luke O'Nine's came on. O'Nine hasn't had that many games this season, has he? Mukiele, oh dear me. He is angry with Labrie for bringing him off. But Luke O'Nine comes on, gets a bit of game time. Hasn't had that much at all this season. Has only played 3 games and they're off the bench. But of course he was one of the clinical key players in the Championship for Sunderland when they made their promotion up. And Mukiele still having a strop on the bench. Referee getting things back underway here with West Ham and the free kick. It's with Fernandez. Looks to fire it forward. Onto the near side here of the penalty area. Off the head of Mavropanos. Goes high by Diarra. Back into the area here. Callum Wilson with the ball. Looks to go forward and shoots. He goes down in the area. Alderete wins it back and goes forward. 6 minutes of play here left. Sunderland looking to fire it up here with Diarra, who's in the centre of the pitch now. He looks to go forward onto the far side. Finds Ballard. Ballard goes in towards Lefay on the near side right-hand wing. Then finds O'Nine, who goes all the way back towards Sidibe, who's now solidified himself as a bit of a centre-back here. In by Alderete, in towards Brobby, can't win that one. Falls back towards Ballard, who still runs forward. He darts onto the wing here with O'Nine, who sends the ball high. Oh, dear me! And that was close to going in. It was a cross, and it bounced off the crossbar. Areola got to it. It dropped on the floor, and luckily he picked it back up again. That was, I think, an intended cross, but it turned up into a shot that nearly went into the back of the net. Dear me, and that was, oh, dear me, that was close there for Sunderland. With 4 minutes to go. It's a free kick given the way of West Ham again. So, look at that. Poof, brilliant save by Areola. I mean, he needed to get to that. If he didn't fall to that, then Isidore would have been there and would have been putting that into the net as well. Big chance for Sunderland, big scare for West Ham. But Fernandez again with a free kick just outside the area on the near side. Sends it in, looking to find a head, but it finds Robin Roos instead. And Wilson there blocking Roos and sending it forward, so he's had to just pause a moment. It's gone in towards Talby. Oh, dear me. Granit Xhaka having a bit of a word with some of the West Ham supporters from the bench. Just for a review of it. He's having an argument with the West Ham fans. Oh, dear me. Granit Xhaka not happy. I presume it's also fuelled by the fact that they're currently 3-1 down against a team that's in the relegation zone. So on the far side here with Sidibe, he returns it over to the near side with Diarra. Now finds out Luke O'Nine. Diarra again. Oh, and it stays in play. It's still fighting around. It's swivelling around. It goes out of play. Now, who's that for? And it will be going the way of West Ham. Don't think the linesman kind of knew what to call there because the ball was sitting on the line for about 5 seconds. They started jumping over each other, and then he called it to West Ham. So, might be more of a foul than anything. And Mukiele's having a go at the 4th official, I think, from the bench. Some West Ham supporters being told off as well by the steward. So, oh dear me. It's not what you like to see for Sunderland. A little bit of head loss, I presume. I think the referee's waiting for everything to be sorted out before he lets Areola get back underway with it. Yeah, Sunderland causing quite the scene here. Referee having a chat to Nuno. And while this is all being sorted out, they've paused game. Paused game? Paused play. And more West Ham fans are standing up in noise. Referee gets back onto the field now, and I think good to be go. But falls back to Ballard, so Ariola's free kick went pretty much nowhere. Wilson fires it forward. Now Wan-Bissaka looking to get there. I think Robin Roos will get there just in time before. Big scare there for him, and he had to get to the ball quickly. As it goes back towards Thomas Souček. He finds Todibo now. Minute to go here until the 90th minute. So with Isidore now, he gets displaced by Callum Wilson, who runs on the scene, who's been really good since he came on. He's been a very, very influential player here. But of course, maybe it's the fact he doesn't want to leave West Ham, but he's not been playing. If he comes on and can do a job, no reason why he wouldn't be kept here. Back under play here. Sidibe wins it. Falls to Diarra, but he ends up going back to Areola. 15 seconds to go until we see who's going to be, how much time's going to be added on, as Mateus Fernandes being awarded the man of the match. West Ham here with the chance again. Bowen looking to go into the area. Kicked away by Ballard. And it's a corner here for West Ham. Bowen again applying the pressure on. And we have 4 minutes of added time. I thought it would have been more than that. It seemed to have been more. But there we are. 4 minutes of added time in this one. It was great defensive work there by Ballard just to get the ball back into the area. Another change here for West Ham. Just seeing who that is. I believe it will be Max Kilman coming on here. So it will be Max Kilman. So, free kicking by West Ham, corner in. Oh, dear me, it falls to somebody, but it then gets sent away. Fernandes again with a shot all off the crossbar. Wilson sends it high, it goes into goal. I think that went in, I'm not sure. And it's in! It's a goal for West Ham again! I'm not sure. Hang on. Referee's now having a chat with the VAR, I believe. Oh, I mean, that's... From the angle, it looks like it might just about be in. Let's see. Oh, let's see what the referee decides here, because I think it might have just been across the line. But what a shot from Fernandes again, off the crossbar. Crossbar was dancing around after that one. So let's see what the referee decides on this. But could easily be 4-1. It could also be a free kick, depending on if they think it was a foul from Souček, I think they're deciding on. I presume Souček pushed the goalkeeper, maybe? I'm not sure. Let's have a look here what the referee decides. And I think that's... It'll be a substitution, so I think decision made. Nothing from that. Somerville goes off, of course, was the opener for West Ham. With the header. And then, of course, we have Max Kilman coming on. So Somerville off, Max Kilman on. Of course, it just means for the final couple of minutes here, West Ham just sitting a little bit more defensive now. Pretty much got like 5 defenders, but Souček can sit at the back. Wilson here is looking for a run to go and make it 4-1. It's headed. Oh, and it was won there by Robin Roofs. 1 minute of play here in this one. Might be a little bit, there might be another 30 or 40 seconds due to that call just. And Sirkin now. Looking to cross it in. Looks to find Brobb, who was nowhere near him. Finds Talby. Sirkin again with the ball. He gets tripped up, but referee allows play again. And it's Jarrod Bowen with the ball. He'll be looking to try and link up with Callum Wilson. Goes out of play. Another throw-in given the way of West Ham here with 15 seconds to go. And they'll be looking to get their, I think it's 5th win this season. 2nd in a row. First on they've scored back-to-back wins here this season. As we now head into the last minute of play. It's all about when the referee blows that whistle. Bowen goes back towards Sirkin, who gets back to Robin Roofs. Fans shouting for the whistle here. I think either way, what happens, this is over, and it will be 3 points going the way of West Ham United. As the ball gets passed by 09 to Robin Roofs, goes forward here. And that is the full-time whistle here at the London Stadium. West Ham 3, Sunderland 1. I mean, what a game that was. I think starting off with that first goal for Somerville, it was a great crossing by Bowen. Quite low, it had a bit of a whip on it. There's all dear me, hang on, there's more arguments going on here with Granit Xhaka. And they'll, well, they'll take the cameras off that one. Why not show us what's going on? And the shooter's getting involved there as well. But a great goal by Somerville, header in from that lowish cross from Jarrod Bowen early on. And then it was that penalty when Ollie Scars got felled by, I believe it was Mukiele. And then, of course, it was a simple bottom right-hand corner penalty for him. And then we had that final goal from Mateus Fernandes, which was an insane shot. One of the best goals I've seen this season. And, of course, that kind of put the game to bed before we got into the second half. Then Sunderland looked like a different team. They made a couple of changes, 3 to be exact. They brought on Sirkin, Diarra and Talby, and they looked a lot better, a lot stronger. They could only get that one goal. It was that mistake by, not Diarra, it would have been mistake by Scholes. Fell to Mukiele, he passed it to Brobby, it was a header in. And then, of course, it got quite lively towards the end there with another nearly great shot by Fernandes. Troy Hume's cross that were nearly turned into a goal. And then, of course, the whole situation with Mukiele being quite unhappy about being taken off around the 80th minute in. But there we have it. It's West Ham 3, Sunderland 1. We'll hand over to TNT as we hear some of our late game analysis. Thank you all for joining. We'll see you next time. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll be back for Newcastle versus Aston Villa, followed by Arsenal versus Man United.
Sunderland 1, massive win for the Hammers.
Thank you very much to Darren and Ali. What a game, what an ending as well. Absolute joy on the face of Nuno at the end of that match, following back-to-back Premier League wins, 3 straight victories in all competitions. Now, it's not enough to lift them out of the relegation zone, but it does put them on 20 points now, just 2 behind Forest, which heaps a bit of pressure on Sean Dyche's side, who face Brentford away tomorrow. And away days certainly not Sunderland's forte. Without a win in 7 on the road now, just 2 wins in 10 for them now since the start of December. They're 9th in the table, staying on 33 points. We're going to get some West Ham reaction now from 2 of the goal scorers today. Let's head to Becky Ives.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Crescencio Matthias, this must feel so much better. Back-to-back wins in the Premier League.
Yeah, there's nothing better than winning, you know. We are on a good flow. I think from next week we took the positives, and you could see it, you could smell it. Even the fans like, wow, unbelievable.
Was it really important to get that early goal, to get the crowd on side with you, behind you for this game?
Yeah, I think the most important was when you scored the first, we scored again. So it was a good thing for us because we scored every time early, and then in second half we conceded. So it was a good job for everybody. We are happy, but we will go again. We want to leave that position, and we are ready for the next game.
Yeah, that early goal there, that header, it just seemed to hang there, and the jump was phenomenal. Have you got some renewed confidence in front of goal now? 2-2.
I was surprised with myself, you know. This is my first header, so it was a good cross from Josh, and yeah, I think the only thing you can do is put it in the net, and that's what I did.
Then you had Jared coming through with the penalty, and I'm going to leave this up to you two to explain to me this third goal, because I'm not sure which was better, the pass, the finish, the combination between you both.
Yeah, like Chris every time said to me to shoot, I need to try more, because when I shoot in training, I score. So it's one thing I need to grow up, to learn more, and I'm very happy. It was my first goal out of the box. So yeah, I'm very happy for the win, for the moment, the team, and yeah, we are very happy to play like this.
It looked like you were going to cut it back across goal, then you went near post.
Yeah. So yeah, I just thinking about shoots. I shoot, and I was lucky a little bit, but yeah, I'm very happy to score and for the win as well.
Yeah, brilliant day for West Ham, right? I'm holding the Player of the Match trophy. Crescentio, would you like to give it to Mateus Fernando? Thank you.
Yes, Mateus Fernandez, the man of the match today after his stunning third goal for the Hammers.